And I have with me Yashwant Deshmukh, psephologist and political commentator. I have Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. PK Nambiar, political analyst again, who's, of course, tilting towards the BJP. And, of course, Sandeep Ghosh, political commentator and business leader. And I'm going to start with you, Yashwant. Your big political takeaway from this interim budget.
Well, there are, I would say, confidence, not overconfidence. An overconfidence government should have gone ahead and announced many welfare measures. But whereas the government, with a strong footing on the fundamentals of the economy, stood on that. And I would like to pick up the word of optimism, what Yashwantji said. An optimistic government, a society which is optimistic about the economic activity of the overall governance in the economy, that itself is a big achievement for a government after 10 years. See, I always say that the Modinomics is all about welfareism. The Modinomics is all about growth oriented. Modinomics has got something to do with global outlook. It has got a huge digital presence as compared to any other economy anywhere in the world. It has got a huge capital spending. Even in this year, they have reduced the fiscal deficit by 1%, which is very big for a large economy like us. So that means a fundamentally strong economy is what they wanted to create, not a populistic election oriented budget. That alone is a big credit for a government which is going to have an election in the next 2 months. Generally, we have seen in our country that whenever there is an election year, then what happens is that the number of trains are increased, number of flights are increased, or something or the other for every state. But a national budget should be something like this. It should be a real accounts of and the progress and vision for the country, which is what a very confident Nirmala Sitharaman has presented. Her body language, her Mr. Narendra Modi's body language, and the way they have presented the budget gives a feeling that our country is in safe hands. There is a vision for the country. There is a vision for our economy, and wherein everybody is inclusive, whether it is a Kisan or a youth or the women folks, everybody has been taken together in this particular budget. I think making a specific point for a particular activity or a particular announcement in this budget may not be required to do, because it is comprehensive. As I said, it is a growth-oriented budget, even though it is not a full budget. I think we have much more to expect in the 2024. And just imagine the confidence, as I think, Aditi, you should be very proud. A woman finance minister showing her confidence that 2024 July, I am coming back and giving a full budget wherein I will present what is the real vision for the country, what Narendra Modi government has. In the same way, a few months ago, even I think in 15th of August, from the Red Fort, the Prime Minister Modi said, I will be here to unfurl the Tiranga even in the next year. So I think there is a confidence everywhere. There is zero anti-incumbency on the ground. People are overall satisfied.
But you come in on that?
I'll come on that. The only thing which Tehseen making a mistake is that I think he don't travel too much on the main road and the Kisan. Today's Kisan of 2014 and 2024's Kisan is not the same. He understand what kind of a crop needs to be this thing. I am a village boy. I have been a farmer. I still have a cow farm, which gives me a lot of revenue. The only thing which he is making a fundamental mistake is that, is the economy growing? If the economy is growing, who is getting the benefit of it? Is it not the last mile connectivity is not there? May I, my dear friend? If the construction is
questions,
come on, yeah, this much of
question has been asked. What's the depth
I am coming to
expenditure? Expend that. I am not
answer.
You're telling me
Testing,
Kisan getting debt. How's that an answer, bro? Give me
my
the
dear
answer
friend,
that I asked you.
I am not your
What is the debt
student
to
that
India?
you are. I am not your student wherein you will ask me a
I
question and
agree,
I
but
will
give me
reply
the
you like
debt.
a
You
tota.
see that I think
I'm
this
not
is
going to
where the
reply you like a
goes.
tota.
Give me
Please.
No, the consolidated debt of India is depending upon the GDP. Based on that, the debt will be taken from various sources. And in this time around, if you have really gone through the budget speech of the minister, they said that we are going to the ratio to the debt versus to the growth or the GDP will be 1% less than what it has been. So I think we don't have to, you and me don't have to be worried. A fundamentally strong economy is we all have been looking for, which is still
And
there
you know,
and will.
Tessie, I'll just come in there. It's not just the Indian government which is saying that. So, you know, maybe it's a little too far to say that they're fudging data and that everything is gloom and doom. Yes, there might be
Then
gloom
you
and
give
doom,
me the data
and
that
there
which
are
is the original
definitely
data.
pockets of gloom and doom.
If the
Because
government is
IMF
fudging
also,
the, no, Aditi, one
yeah.
second. If the government is fudging the data, let us assume for a minute my friend is saying right. Let him prove that there is a fudging of data is there. There is a inherited problem
I'll prove
Indian
it in one
government with
second.
such a large number of population is already
Okay,
been there.
let
You
me
don't
go to
I'll
get
prove it
Sandeep.
in
you
Let
one
don't
me go
second.
to
then 1 second. You
okay.
I'll
don't
prove
get
it in
an
one
Giri, one
accurate
second.
second. I'll come
employment
back to
data.
you. I'll come back.
There are fundamentally, I mean, my friend is making some very valid questions, but that valid questions do not have a comparison to make. The reason being, we are talking about a fifth largest economy in the world. I mean, rather, we are now the top five economies and one of the largest growing economy. Now, let's compare an apple to apple. Tell me, Tehseen, what is the debt to GDP ratio of China? 280 percentage. What is the debt to GDP ratio of 2022 and 23 of government of India, which is less than 80 percentage, which will be further reduced by this particular budget? What is the debt to this the ratio of the topmost economy in the world, that is the US? So I think let's when we compare an apple to apple, let's compare it in the true spirit rather than making just a vague statements. I think what we need to know this immediately, the comparison, how it happens, you have seen that what Tyson was making. Just look at Bangladesh and Pakistan. Yeah, Bangladesh and Pakistan and comparing in India's economy, that makes me very sad for you. I think that is one of the biggest
Aditi,
mistakes
I'd
you
like
have
to
done it
come
in
for a
this country.
minute.
I just
Aditi,
want
may I
10
Yes,
come in?
seconds to answer,
May
then
I
I'll
come in
go.
for
yes,
a
Sandeep,
second,
and then
please?
I'm going to go to
Yeah,
No, no,
Sumitra.
no.
I
Just
just want
quickly
10
for
seconds to
you,
answer
because
my
I'll
of
just
question.
time.
say,
Maybe then
So I think we will have a different discussion on the startups and their failures and successes. I would rather
Yeah.
say a large number of startups in India, especially working on the technology front. I am not a startup anymore. My company is 21 years old, and I wanted to say, Espalji, that I have not taken a single rupee from my family or my parents or anybody. 33,700 rupees from a Chhatarpur branch of Syndicate Bank I have taken as a loan for buying a one laptop, one computer, one UPS, one printer, one scanner. From there, I have made a 350 high quality people company, which is doing very well. But the only thing, technology should not be our master, technology should be our servant. This basic fundamental things which many of the software companies, which I even work as a service marketing company, don't even understand it. The problem is that we all wanted to, oh, startup India, everybody wanted to become a startup, this thing. But before all this stuff, I wanted to give an answer to it. Why Pakistan is 78 percentage debt to the ratio of to their loan, debt to GDP ratio. Nobody is ready to give loan to Pakistan. Even Saudi is not ready. IMF is not ready to give Pakistan. Pakistan is now ready to take 500 percentage of their GDP to these things. I think what we need to learn is that economy is just not data. Anybody whomsoever is saying economy is data, they are making themselves a fool. Economy is an emotion. Economy is a governance which is felt by the people of the country. They should governance needs to be felt, and governance is the integral part of an economy. Yes, there are financial data are involved in an economy, but economy is not just about data. So we can work on
Got
the
it,
data.
PKD. So
And
what you're saying is
in
that
a country
economy is
like,
an
one
emotion,
second,
and I do
Aditi,
want to have that. Yeah.
in a country like India, wherein we are talking about 140 crore people, only China to match the number of people, we cannot have an accurate data, and we never had an inheritance of having an accurate data, whether it is employment, whether it is economy, whether it is anything and everything. We are slowly building it up and telling all of us that yes, we are fudging the data. I think unless and until you have the data to prove that we are fudging the data, we should not believe into that narrative. At the end of the day, we are progressing. The governance is felt by the people. That is the reason the optimism what
Okay.
we started with is there.
I disagree with you, but that's all right. Because data is very important to make is very,
It's
very
an
important.
important
You can't
component, but that is not all
disregard
about
data
economy.
completely. But thanks for this. Let me